How did this investigation start?
It started because we were trying to make a dope-ass movie. It started because the Proud Boys stormed the Capitol on January 6th, and then when they all got in trouble, they were like, whoa, look, Antifa's doing something. Yeah, we're making a movie. It's a little different. Where was I on January 6th? I was at work, and then I went and unloaded the truck at the food pantry after.
Hi, my name is Rod Weber, and in case you hadn't heard, my wife Lauren Pespisa and I have become the subject of a federal investigation because of our film 2020 The Dumpster Fire. The film features talks with political thinkers and politicians alike, Noam Chomsky, Barrett Brown, and Daryl Lamont Jenkins, to name a few. When given the chance, I called out Donald Trump and Joe Biden to their faces. I traveled to the George Floyd protests immersed in flames while dodging both rubber bullets and live rounds of ammunition. While the FBI and the Joint Terrorism Task Force are trying to brand my crew and I as terrorists, we are at the core artists who use spectacle, humor, and trolling to bring awareness to causes which are important to us. But now, we are in the fight for our lives. And rather than raise our fists in anger, we've broken out the unicorn onesies and tutus in the hopes that federal prosecutors conducting grand juries will get the message.
Hello, I have important information.
That trying to jail us would be very, very silly indeed. But it's hard to tell. Are we doing this right? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Why is this happening? Back in 2015, Trump called on Rod during a rally to quote scripture.
Rod quoted a verse critical of men like Trump.
Bible verse. Bible verse. It is noble to seek the office of overseer. However, he who does should be above reproach, sober-minded, not quarrelsome, only married once, and not a great lover of money. And will you take a flower for peace?
The Trumpers roughed Rod up.
And next time security attacked him.
Buddy!
Rod sued Trump without a lawyer and won.
After I beat Trump and FBI agent Deck in court, Agent Creed began the harassment. This agent, Andy Creed, has collaborated with Northeast White Pride. And he has used his badge to stop me from filming events related to Boston Straight Pride.
What's up?
We're going to call tonight, okay?
Okay, I just got here.
Yeah, why don't you walk down with your other friends that are all up the street, okay? We're not having any confrontations yet tonight, okay?
Have a nice
night. Have a nice night, sir.
So who is Andy Creed really? And what is the Joint Terrorism Task Force? Well, Creed is a Boston cop who identifies as FBI, but it would be more accurate to say that he is trans-departmental, or trans-cop. And I say this because, as we'll talk more about later in detail, he's a giant anti-trans douche. In reality, Creed, or Agent Nickelback, as I like to call him, has been deputized by the FBI as Joint Terrorism Task Force, the JTTF. They're a locally based, multi-agency partnership between federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies tasked with investigating terrorism and terrorism-related crimes. Creed gets paid $170,000 a year to harass lefty activists, and when he's not working for the JTTF, he moonlights at a strip club called Centerfolds.
And you get a video that says Trump wants martial law. No, it's not the right time to do that. It's you can do it. It's freedom of speech. But absolutely, First Amendment protected. But we have to come by and make sure that you're not. You can't see this an obvious joke that we're like a performance art group. We might have a completely different. Do you want to see the giant vagina? Can you see the giant vagina? Can you see that? Look. Can you see the giant vagina? We're a performance art group. I've seen that one before. Yeah. Come on. Vagina. I've seen. Okay, take a peek because I haven't seen the giant. I've seen the giant penis, vagina, man. I've seen the giant penis. I'm not going to call it your giant penis, but I've seen. You can see the giant penis is right here. Look. Here's the giant penis, man. I've seen that one too. All right. I'm familiar with your work. So you get it. I'm a performance artist. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. You're saying since you're a sometimes it just might not come across. You know.
In Blumpkin Town, election day in Blumpkin Town. Election day in Blumpkin Town, the dick comes out, the ladies frown.
So on my first visit, Detective Creed told me that statistically trans people kill themselves when served with a grand jury subpoena. And throughout this entire process, that has affected my mental health. So much so that, you know, when he showed up at my job to deliver a subpoena, not once, but twice, I was shaken throughout the entire process, and, you know, thinking, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my job because, you know, the FBI is here, Detective Creed's here. I'm going to end up losing my job. And lo and behold, the last visit that he had, he left me a voicemail because it was my day off, saying, you know, alluding to the fact that, you know, he was going to get me fired. And I ended up losing my job, and I was fired the next time I went in. He's going to do whatever he can to make my life a living hell.
Embry Detective Creed, I'm at your place of business right now. I have a second grand jury subpoena for you next month. The attorney wasn't too happy to get Bloom off last week, and it's serious. They can throw you in jail for that to do it again. I'm going to leave a copy of the subpoena with your boss and I'm coming by your address at what I believe it's House, Street. Like, there'll be a subpoena here for you. I take it you're coming to pick up your final paycheck or something. You still work here, but there will be a copy of the subpoena here if you want to bring one to your house. So any questions, give me a call.
Hey, Rod, how are you again?
Look,
sorry to bother you again.
We're not going to talk about the other because you're filming whatever.
All right. Look, if you're filming us, correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
Look, someone filed a report on you.
Did you get assaulted too on May Day?
On May Day?
Why would I talk to you guys when
you
guys did like a grand jury to go after my wife?
Have a nice day and see you later.
Okay. Right?
We're trying to help
you don't give a fuck.
We're trying to help you out, but...
No, you're not trying to help me out because you're following us around and trying to fucking harass my wife, right? Right? Okay, yeah, see? So take off. I'm not participating in your bullshit. No, I mean, you guys have been just fucking assholes about it, haven't you?
Naturally, Creed's overbearing douchebaggery has resulted in him being assigned a chaperone, FBI Special Agent Stephen Kimball. Steve Kimball is a colossal bumbling idiot. His demonstrably false testimony during the Marathon Bomber trial in Boston showed that FBI agents are unrepentant liars. Fuck the Marathon Bomber, but Kimball was caught taking Sarniev's social media posts out of context, and when the tweets were put back in context, much of Kimball's testimony was made to look like the result of cynical selective representation by the prosecution. Other posts shown by Kimball turned out to be jokes by Tosh.0 and Key and Peele.
Department of Homeland Security's been monitoring your calls for weeks. Rashid, we got you. We know about you and your friends. We got you on tape referring to Jafar as one of the architects of
7-Eleven! It was 7-Eleven! Jafar, he designs convenience stores.
7-Eleven.
In other words, Agent Kimball is not just a liar, he's a paid liar that the government uses to thread their false narratives, and Kimball has admitted to it in court.
After Rod beat Trump's ass in court, Detective Creed began the harassment.
Agents Creed and Kimball and the Secret Service paid Rod a visit. They claimed to have interviewed a Proud Boy.
Proud Boy.
That Proud Boy outrageously claimed that the 2020 The Dumpster Fire trailer was evidence of a plot to assassinate Donald Trump.
But the issue is that someone complained about the president, is that right? And so you've been satisfied on that level.
I literally just came back from an interview with a Proud Boy. I've got a job, and my job is to protect the president, whoever that is.
No one ever came to talk to me. No one ever asked me about it. They just went around spreading lies to everybody I know, freaking everybody out, and everyone's like, no, Lauren's really nice. What are you talking about? Like, you know, I'm pretty sure she's making a movie, and, you know, this is stupid. Nobody ever came to my door. Nobody ever talked to me. It was just like the hawks circling in, talking to everybody else I know, which is somehow more scary.
The feds dropped the assassination claim, but came up with a news story that we had unlawfully used a gun in a promo. The promo is for a documentary, but a promo is a promo, and sometimes a promo uses special effects, like when I directed Artie Wahlberg in 2013. Strange how the feds never complain about all the guns in his brother's movies.
Did you know much about precision rifles before doing this film? I didn't know much about precision shooting. I'd done a lot of action movies. I'd done a lot where I handled weapons, but I'd never done any sort of sniper training. So we went to Front Sight in Nevada, and basically we had a crash course in Marine sniper training.
He does an excellent job because he picks up everything extremely fast. We had him just blow through a few rounds first before I even taught him anything. And then I taught him different positions, how to manipulate the scope, how to judge the wind.
I can speak from an ATF perspective. Every year, over 10,000 Americans go into a licensed gun dealer and they lie on the federal form, committing a federal felony that will put them in jail for 5 years because they've already been convicted of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence, or they're currently on a restraining order. No one does anything.
How many people?
Over 10,000 a year. Okay? So that to me is like bells and whistles should be ringing.
Why is this happening?
Rod beat Trump's ass in court.
Rod's legal victory over Donald Trump was mentioned by agents.
Well, how much did you get from that? I got 20 from Trump, I got 15 from Manchester PD.
Subpoenas were delivered to the dumpster crew for grand juries. Then the feds said that they'd get Rod like Martha Stewart for lying to the FBI.
Ask Martha Stewart about that. Martha Stewart.
Grand juries were scheduled in Massachusetts, but they were canceled because the charges were bogus. The feds went shopping for new prosecutors. They found one in Maine.
Hey, Anthony, my name's Andrew Creed. Hi, Anthony, Detective Creed again. I called you yesterday. Anthony, hi, it's Andrew Creed again. I will buy a place again today. Look, I got a subpoena to give you. I'd rather just drop it off at your house in person. If you need somewhere, I'd rather not have to go by your work or go to one of your relatives or something, but, you know, keep business with you. But you need to call back, 617-594-2781. I'm not threatening you anymore. We don't go away. We're going to serve at some point.
In October, a so-called witness testified in exchange for immunity. Immunity is given by prosecutors to criminals to coerce them into lying, in exchange for the promise they won't have to go to jail themselves. Sure enough, this so-called witness later confessed that he lied in exchange for immunity.
You know, I had immunity paperwork, and basically, yeah, it looks like they're using a lot of government resources to try to fuck all of you.
In November, Emery Galen and Anthony Petrovich were called to testify.
One of the biggest differences between a grand jury and a regular trial jury is that grand jury proceedings are essentially secret.
What's not being discussed is the fact that the grand jury process is a rigged process. People tend to think, oh, it's just like serving jury duty, where you go, you're there for a date, and maybe you get to go home. If you get put on a case, you might be on a case for a week or so.
Grand juries are made up of 12 people who decide if there's enough evidence to indict someone and send the case to trial. They do not decide guilt or innocence. District judges pick the grand jurors to serve a 3-month term.
Most often than not, it's just going to be the prosecutor's show to run, and they get to present the evidence, and no one gets to rebut that evidence.
You know, the grand jury is a rigged process. Is this thing on?
What's up, Andy? You know, can't complain. Yourself? Still working at the strip club?
What are you talking about?
Centerfolds.
Detail, yeah, occasionally. I haven't done it in a while.
Oh.
Dude, you're laid up. I really can't talk.
No, right on. Be good.
You said centerfold, so that's just the first thing.
Oh, yeah.
Joel is a centerfold.
They're leaving.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we're walking into the baseball field.
So today's the day of the grand jury. Yay. I don't know, I'm just... Shit's scary out there.
So this is Anthony Petrovich, aka Petro. Backstory on this. I was helping to film a documentary with Rod Weber, 2020 The Dumpster Fire. Lo and behold, in February I get a grand jury subpoena in Massachusetts. Apparently this guy, Agent Creed, was knocking on my door when I'm not home. My neighbors would say that this guy's banging on my door, scaring the hell out of my cat. Flash forward to now, I get another one in another jurisdiction, my guess being that this Creed guy shopped around for an AUSA that would be on board with this. I don't know, but it seems pretty absurd.
Old people on TikTok. Not even 5 minutes later, I get another call. They changed their mind. They're just gonna have you come in tomorrow. And then I also get a text from my lawyer that reminds me that if I don't show up tomorrow, I'm just gonna get held in contempt. So that's fun. I've lost count of how many times I've been threatened with jail time over this. Hey, so I'm at the train station and I am getting picked up by 2 FBI agents by the name of Agents Drew and Agent Borges.
Please bring it to the immediate attention of your bus driver.
Can I have your name and badge number?
We don't have badge numbers. My name's Agent Drew.
Drew?
Yeah.
And his name? Being picked up by 2 FBI agents was ridiculous.
Why did it feel like the end of the world last night?
Because sometimes the world ends. Sometimes it does, and sometimes you realize that, how many times has the world ended in my life?
So we had 2 grand juries. The first one got thrown out the window. The second one, they managed to subpoena and keep these subpoenas going, getting people to testify. I can only imagine how much has been spent on all this. And it makes me wonder why, because Lauren's not a hardened criminal. This seems like something where they're looking for a crime to get her for.
It's a trailer for a documentary. Our entire crew has been harassed with grand jury subpoenas, threats, and actual actions that made me lose my job.
Like, it's satire. That's what he does. He's a director. He's a satirical director. He uses comedy to heighten a political message.
The way they're persecuting Lauren seems like nothing more but petty revenge, dude. Like, I don't know who the people are involved, but they seem to have some type of vendetta obsession.
To go after someone like her for being a creative person who's putting her neck out there to try to help other people for the betterment of her community would be a travesty.
It's, kind of their little payback to say, oh, look, we're fair. They're going to go after a couple leftists named Rod and Lauren. That's what I see this as. And I can't speak highly enough about Lauren Pespisa. She does not deserve to be jailed. This is crazy that we're wasting federal prosecutor time when we have all these people who are violent people out there.
I feel the prosecution she is facing is unjust.
What's cool about Lauren is that she also talks about the benefits of mutual aid and cultures of reciprocity and gift economy. I mean, it's based in solutions. So
we see what kind of person Lauren is, and this is an injustice.
Lauren is one of the best people I have met over the past couple of years. And I think that basically a lot of what has been going on right now is because she's been more or less calling it out as she deems fit. And they don't like that.
All I ever want to do is I love making movies, and I love being in movies, and I love filmmaking, and I've learned so much from Rod, and they want to take all that away from me.
Our call to action. These secret hearings have been going on for almost a year. Just because no one has been arrested or indicted doesn't mean that this is over. Far from it. Our experience tells us that these grand juries are going to keep going and going and going, which is why we need your help. Please sign and share our petition. We are also accepting signed character witness statements, and if you feel compelled, even send us a video testimonial. The film will be having screenings in Boston and New York. Keep up to date on dumpsterfirefilm.com or follow Lauren at Splendid Spoon on Twitter. I'm at Rod Weber.
If you're gonna hang an innocent man, no, I'm guilty of but the laws of man. For what I've done, I'm not ashamed. I'd do it again, happy to take the blame. I answer to a higher power. and I'd do anything for my child and wife.